That's great. And thank you very much to indeed for being present today to this party. And I want to introduce first of all Louis Kim, our Vice President Global of the Immersive Division, and Brett Short, the creator of this HP Sprout. And today I think that the great thing is to share with you how Brett, how Louis invented and deployed this kind of solution, which is one of the main idea, which is the story. Everything here probably could be curious about that, so I leave to you, and thank you very much for being with us today.
Sure. So let me start. I'll introduce sort of, I guess what we'll cover, and then I'll turn it over to Brad. It's in technology, especially hardware, it's not very common to meet some of the people behind the technology. A lot of things are made in Asia, you don't really know who made it. So for tonight, we thought it'd be interesting for you to meet the inventor, literally the inventor of Sprout in San Diego. Brad thought of this idea, I don't know, maybe 9 years now?
Yeah,
9 years. And then as it became more real, I joined Brad and I think 2 or 3 other engineers. So there's about 4 of us in I think 2011, 2010. Now we have a much larger team in China, Americas, Europe. I won't give the exact number, but it's a much larger team. And it's been now a 7 or 8 year journey. So this is Andrea's event, Inventia's event, and obviously the Inventia solution is more than Sprout. We're glad to be a part of it. But for today, we thought it'd be interesting for you to see behind the scenes and how this was invented over the last 7, 8 years. So you'll hear directly from Brad Short.
Well, thanks, Andrea, for having us. As an engineer, as Louis was saying, 9 years ago, I was just an engineer at the bottom with kind of a crazy idea that I thought I'd introduce at an innovation fair. And it's sort of been this up and down roller coaster ride, kind of a dream come true, fast course, a crash course in how to bring a product to market. But as Louis is saying, the journey to get a product to market and all the stages, I think it would be special for you guys to actually see that. This is sort of a ground up innovation. And so I created it's like a home video that sort of documents the process. So it's not a polished marketing HP video, but in the spirit of kind of ground up, grassroots effort, I thought it'd be interesting format for everyone to see. So this was, as Louis was saying, this is 9 years ago, week 2 of the concept. So I just kind of had this crazy idea, and that's me. A simple poster. I was working on printers and scanners at the time. So the idea was, can I use a projector to project in front of a printer and turn a surface into a scanning surface that could be this remote collaboration, interactive surface. And we came up with crazy names, VIPS, Virtual Interactive Projection System. And we created these experiences. As we go to market with these banking verticals, it's all about the experience. So at the time, the way we were able to greenlight these projects was not to show technology, but to actually show an end-to-end experience. What would a user do when they're sitting in front of a device like this? So I actually just created slideshows, and I had a clicker in the back of my pocket. So this is all fake UI, and I'm just clicking. It's almost like a magic show, which is why we call the original project Houdini, because a lot of it was sleight of hand and kind of showing how to make the impossible happen. But you can see some of the early elements of capture, reprojection, using projection. How do you use that in a collaboration standpoint? How do you create, edit, all touch? Notice no keyboards, no mice. Something very simple, intuitive, natural. Again, this is just a fake UI that I created myself, just learning how to program. You can see physical objects. So this notion of Phygital is a perfect description of what we were working on even back then, and we didn't even know what we were doing. But the ability to seamlessly transfer between analog and digital worlds without going to a flatbed scanner or a copy machine. just right on the fly, live in front of you, switch back and forth. So we finally got green lighted and developed a team, and we started exploring what does it mean to take all of these surfaces. So you have mobile phone surfaces, tablets, PCs, cameras, all of these screens. How can you collapse it all into one screen so everything can be integrated right in front of you? And we really believe that's part of the essence of why the Inventia solution and this remote collaboration is so successful, because you don't have to think about this friction point between you and the computing system. If you want to share a document, you just place the document down. It's as if someone is sitting right in front of you, face to face. We wanted to bring it to market as a consumer, so this was a consumer PC under HP, so a lot of the use cases you see are more friendly for kids, families, digital designers, creatives. There's Lewis, there's a CEO, Mayo. We've gone through many. This project has survived more CEOs than other projects. This was the first touch map. You can see it's just a bunch of cables sticking out, but how can we sense touch, not just a stylus and pen, but we really want to emulate another person on the other side of the screen. So to do that, a PC has to see with cameras, it has to be able to feel, and it has to be able to interact, and that's the UI that transitions back to the user. But being able to place physical documents down, have the computer and camera system automatically detect, OCR the text out of in this case, a wedding invitation, and then bring up your contacts so that you can easily send them a thank you note. Being able to create things by bringing physical objects in, capturing them, and then instantly rearranging and editing. That was all the themes of the original concept. This was fun. These are Fruit Loops. It's a US cereal. So you can have kids learn how to do math by putting physical objects on the screen. There's what's called kinesthetic learning, which is you learn better by touching and feeling. So Sprout is a great vehicle for that as well. This is the second CEO that we had to convince. Every time there was a new change of command, we had to go back to the sales pitch all over again. We started trying to figure out what would be the form factor for something so so unique, right? No one's ever seen anything like this before. So should it look like a lamp? Should it look like a PC? Should it look like a projector? We wanted it to look something that you could approachable, but not too foreign. So we kind of eventually decided on this lamp type configuration. This one right here, it looks more like furniture, so something comfortable in the home. And just as we were about to bring it to market, bring it to tooling, manufacturing, the project was canceled. So the whole team was basically disbanded, and I was wiped out. So Lewis and I hit the road. We were given permission to sell the project to the PC group. At the time, Lewis and I were in the printing group. So it was a stretch to try to figure out how to sell a PC, which is this interesting scanning device, into a printer group. But we found that maybe within HP there would be some acceptance to the idea in the PC group. Well, about 10 months went by, and we said we'd give ourselves about a year to convince all the different groups in HP. We had the workstation group, we had the PC, the premium products, the notebooks. So we just went from site to site, and then we got no's, and then we said, well, what do we do now? Let's just do it again. And then we just kept doing it over and over and over, to the point where we said, well, it just doesn't look like it's going to happen. So we added a vertical screen. The problem seemed to be that it wasn't familiar enough as a PC. So we added the vertical screen, and maybe by lucky coincidence, all of these options were unlocked. All of these user experience. And you'll see in a second, this video right here, exactly the remote collaboration use case, where you see someone in full screen in front of you, and you're sharing a PowerPoint document and marking it up simultaneously. That vertical screen basically emulates another person on the other side of this call, which is really the essence of Sprout. So we brought in a bunch of users and focus groups and tried to understand where is the actual vertical, like what is the use case. And clearly this was the wrong order. Usually you want to take the customer and go through the customer journey and find out what the customers want. We have this incredible technology that we knew could do all of these different things, but we just didn't know which way to take it. So finally, we were green-lighted for the second time. We had to convince a whole new CEO, a new board of directors that essentially canceled the first time. But that's probably one of the most remarkable things about this. Within the same company, we were able to get refunded to take on a whole new project and a whole new experience. So this time, it now looks very different than the original concept, and it enabled all of these new use cases. We found that as a PC, we needed to not only reinvent the hardware from the cameras and the touch systems, but we also had to create a whole new set of software. So the software layer that runs on top of Windows, but you can see all the essence of easy swiping, still no keyboards, the idea that you can go from thoughts, what's in your head, to expressing them on a PC instantaneously, where you don't have to learn a tool, you don't have to learn input methods or mice or keyboards. So we also realized that as a projector camera system, you actually have a 3D camera system. So you can actually do 3D scanning underneath Sprout. So we have a 3D sensor and a projection system. And we discovered that in order to make this complete loop of immersive computing, not only do you need to sense with a camera, but sense with touch, but you also have to be able to sense the physical shape and size of objects. Not only the size, but also the color on top of the objects. And that would enable true bidirectional collaboration. So maybe in the future, you'll see not just capturing documents and ID cards, but maybe you'll see capturing physical content as if you're handing someone a physical object right across from them. We went all the way to different experts that we thought would be, understand what to do with 3D, 2D design. And it turns out that the maker community was our first kind of go-to-market target audience. But the maker audience has a really hard time buying things. So we realized that showing makers this great technology, the first thing they always ask me is, how did you make it and how can I make it myself? So it turned out to be a very difficult business case. So we went through a whole journey. Sprout 1 launched, then we came out with commercial Sprout 1 with a Pro, which Inventia was, while we were trying to advertise this creative market, Andre and Inventia had bought a Sprout, converted their whole system over to use Sprout for exactly the remote collaboration use case, which it took us maybe 3 years to figure out. So now we've come full circle to true remote collaboration in a perfect use case in banking and all these other applications where there is a remote assistance on the other end. So Sprout now is virtualizing a real human being and connecting people together. And we're really excited about the next phase of the journey. So hopefully you liked kind of seeing how it came. You can kind of see how it started, but we're probably more excited now to see how other people and the businesses take Sprout and see what they do with it. So thank you again, Andrea, for having us. Really appreciate it.
It's something incredible that probably we matched something that you are thinking since the beginning. But I have a question for you, which is the future? What you are thinking about? Because I imagine that is only you are just thinking about new features and about new possibilities.
Yeah, so the future, we're looking at all different options, but one is to create different physical platforms, physical form factors that maybe are disaggregated, separate pieces, to make it easier to put together different form factors for different locations. So there's a physical transformation of the product, lots of opportunity there. I think the biggest opportunity is actually in the software space. We talk about artificial intelligence, deep learning, computer vision. It's the ability for computers to really understand the world in an intelligent way. Well, Sprout is highly capable of seeing the world, but there's a software that has to interpret what it's seeing, and that you'll see will be the next evolution of all this kind of retail environment. When a customer walks in, the system must be able to sense that person, be able to direct that person in an intelligent way to get to a product sale faster. And that's all done through computer vision, deep learning, and augmented reality. And you'll see probably other form factors. But I think that in combination with this omni-channel, so a platform that you can go from a hardware, like a desktop system, to your mobile device, to your laptop. That's why HP is so interested in this. HP is a big PC company. We're creating a solution that can go all the way across our portfolio with a common software solution like Inventia that runs seamlessly across everything. So you'll just see it all getting better, faster, seamless, and hopefully omnipotent across the entire the world and the way you interact with PCs in general.
Absolutely. I have a question for Luis. Which is one of the most complex things or problems that you solved during the project of Sprout during his life?
Probably the people side, the organization side. I mean, you know, as a startup founder, if it was easy, everyone would do it. So there's, you know, it's not a good idea unless half the people think it's a bad idea. So when Brad talked about, we spent 9 months trying to promote Sprout to get it refunded. We talked to about 160 people.
Wow.
We kept track of who was on board, not on board. And HP is a very successful company because it does a lot of things very well at scale, but it's hard to take some chances on this. So, you know, just sticking with something, believing in a good idea, convincing people is probably the biggest challenge.
And I want to invite now Antonio Pinosi, our CEO, because when we started our project, you know that at the beginning, Antonio, who is obviously an engineer like you, created something quite similar, a kiosk that do the same things. And when we saw your baby, he said me, okay, Andrea, we have to stop produce kiosks. This is the future, correct?
Yeah. Let's say not quite similar in terms of visual engineering and so on, but in terms of experience for our platform, looking back to the solution that we designed, it was almost the same experience for the user, the final user, because in our solution there was a main screen with a second screen, a touch screen on the lower part, so almost the same experience with the digital camera, the camera with the mechanical zoom in order to catch digitally the documents. So the experience was really quite similar. So when we discovered the first Sprout, the G1 Sprout, the decision was, okay, stop to think about hardware production on our side. Let's try to use this machine because for sure this will be the future, and the G2 is the answer to our thing.
Yeah.
So thanks, Brad, for saving me to deploy hardware and so on.
No, he said now say it this way, but it's not true. My wife said, who is the fucking guy that the whole club is my guy of kiosk? No, sorry, Anthony, they are HP and we are Inventia. It's quite different. Yeah, I was clearly.
I'm just thankful you're still working at Inventia. Yeah, you're working on a job. So.
It's incredible the story in which sorry, I have to say, a very small company placed in Milan, startups, and the market leader in IT. For the same time, I think that we have to provide a seamless experience, and sometimes things like that happen. And as being a founder, and Antonio is a co-founder, I'm quite proud to be here today with you, because it's like an award of the work that we did. And so thank you very much indeed, first of all, to be here, and secondly, to have believed in us.
Yeah, thanks.
One final comment, but before I do, I just want to make sure that I also introduce some other members. Kevin Kitchen, he is the lead for Europe, EMEA, for Immersive.
Yeah, I'm the custodian of this, and I'm very proud to represent people who created it in the country, in the region in Europe. So, yeah, thank you. I'm the point of contact if you have any questions.
Just moved from we'll move from South Africa, where he led our retail business for HP. And then Stephanie Chen. Stephanie is responsible for our market insights and research. She has an unusual background, engineering degree from MIT, but also an art background from a school in London. Stephanie Chen.
Thanks. Yeah, we're just really excited to be here and actually visiting some of the customers with whom we've placed the Inventia and Sprout solution. It's been great to hear from the heads of the company about how they're able to offer their customers a way to reconnect with people that they've come in the bank to see before, and so they develop this very personal relationship. When it comes down to it, it's really all about making your end user happy, right, and wanting to continue having them as a customer. So it's great to see that this is something that helps do that.
Maybe close with a comment on, Izzy asked me a question about what does a big company like HP find in working with Inventia all the way and around the world. And I just want to add a couple of perspectives. There's an article that came out about a study that the average age of startup founders is actually between 40 and 50. You hear in the news, Facebook, Google, startup founders who dropped out of college, but those are the few winners out of many, many, many non-winners. It's almost like Las Vegas. And what's unique about Inventia is, sorry Francesco, that you're a little bit below the age, it just shows how great you are. But if you look at one of the things that's impressed us is just the experience. Large companies, large teams, Andrea, Antonio, Maurizio, Aurelio. It's been really impressive for us to have that business maturity and deep customer insight. It just doesn't come out of nowhere. And then in addition to that, the strong design sense and customer experience sense.
Thank you.
Inventia may be small, but it looks big. And we're always proud to go with Inventia into big customer meetings. And so I just wanted to share that perspective on why this is my third trip back in Milan in 18 months. Right?
Yes,
Milan's beautiful, but
yes.
It's for the strength of the partnership with Inventia. So I just wanted to add that perspective.
Grazie. Thank you very much, Luigi. To complete this part, thank you very much indeed to be present with us. As usual, you know that in December this year will be the 4th. We'll do our annual yearly event, the Innovation Night. So I hope that you will be with us, and I hope that Luis and Brett, for sure, some of you for sure, or I come in San Diego to take one, will be present to tell another part of the story, of this incredible story that is a Sprout. Thank you very much indeed to be present with me, and grazie mille.